Hey, welcome back to Tony's Auto Works and Off-Road. Today we're working on this 2000 Jeep Cherokee. It's the newest vehicle that I've added to the channel. Today we're going to be installing the Steinjager Transfercase shift linkage. We will be removing the stock linkage. As you know, when you lift a Jeep, it likes to remove itself from the bracket and then you're stuck in neutral. I'm sure a lot of you understand what I'm talking about. When you've been out on the trail and it slips out and you're in neutral, it kind of screws you. So the fix you can do is there's lots of kits out there for this, but I decided on the Steinjager Transfercase shift linkage because it has the steel line instead of just the mechanical pieces that connect to each other. This part was sponsored by Morris 4x4 Center and car sponsors. So I'm going to show you the processes I take to install this and the tools I use. So let's go ahead and get started. So you can either start underneath the Jeep or you can start inside the cab. There are 4 bolts underneath carpet next to the shifter, the transmission shifter, that you will have to remove in order to remove the stock bracket that attaches to the underside of the unibody. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect everything down here first. Now, one thing you do want to keep in mind, I'm going to say this right in the beginning of the video, you do need to keep in mind where your transfer case is at before you start doing anything, whether it's in 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, so that you know where your transfer case linkage is sitting so that you can keep it in that spot and install it exactly the same way as it was before. In your package you're going to get the steel line, of course, and it's got all the nuts and jam nuts you need. Here's one of the brackets. You get 2 brackets and you get a bag of hardware. Along with all this, you also get a sticker and a booklet with other parts that you can get from them. Now right here you're going to see the linkage. This is your bottom linkage. Over here is the bracket that you'll replace from the inside of the Jeep. You've got 2 bolts on this side, and then you've got a bolt right here, and most of this is connected by rubber grommets. So the best thing to do is to remove it from the top first, and then you've got a bracket over here that this bolt holds on that attaches to the transmission, and you got to unbolt that. So we're probably going to start by removing this bracket over here. And you'll see up in there, that's where the linkage is connected to the transfer case. All that dirtiness up there. There's the hole that I just took a bolt out of. There's a hole in that bracket behind there, and there's one up on top. Let's see. And they're both 9/16. All 3 of those bolts are 9/16. So there is 3 bolts in this bracket here. Now in order to get to that top bolt, I had to build a ratchet with 3 extensions to get all the way over to that top nut on the transfer case bracket. now you'll see up here, that piece right there is what connects to the linkage that connects to the transfer case shifter inside the cab. You can just pull it out of that bracket there, pop it out, because we'll be replacing all of this here. So now, once you remove the bracket up over here, you need to pop this piece out of the metal bracket that actually shifts the transfer case. And remember, this is in two-wheel drive in this position. If you're in a different position, you need to keep them in mind where that's at. If you can't remove the pin in that linkage there, you can remove this nut, which is a 5/8, and that's connected directly to the transfer case. And the stock linkage is out. Now with all your hardware, you get two of these pieces here, and the bolts go through here, but you do need to thread them onto the ends like this. And here's your jam nut. So this will be for your adjustment here. This will be for your shift adjustment once you get the wire set up in there. Alright, so once you get all your stock stuff out,
shove that in there.
Put this new bracket on. The stock lower bolt that mounts to the transfer case is right here. You tighten that up, and the bolt on the top, the nut, that doesn't do anything. You just with the bracket, you just have to tighten that back up, put that back on. But the second nut on the transfer case that holds this bracket, you have to put that on. And now you have to come over here and install the 4-bolt bracket. And they don't give you nuts to use for the stock bolts, so you can either use your own bolts or you can use the threaded pieces on the stock transfer case kit, but I would recommend just using your own bolts and nuts and washers. Going to go ahead and install our new linkage cord here. You can start on either the transfer case side or you can start on the shifter side. It's up to you. You'll stick one side through the bracket where the hole is, and then you'll do the same on the other side. Now this is going to kind of curve around like this. The back of the wire is going to be towards the transmission, and the wires are going to go back towards the shifter on the transfer case and the bracket up here, of course. See that I have the bolt through the rubber grommet on the shift linkage for the shifter on the inside. That's put together, and then I have a bolt through the bottom, but don't do that up yet because you've got to do your adjustment to make sure that you are in the right gear, matched up with your transfer case shifter down there. These nuts here are either going to be a 15/16 or you can use a crescent wrench.
There you go. 15/16.
We found one. Yep, 15/16. Your jam nuts at the forks will be a 7/16. At the top and at the bottom at the transfer case shifter. That was my installation of the Steinjager transfer case shift linkage for the 97 to 01 Jeep Cherokee, or any Jeep Cherokee with the new process 231J transfer case. I hope this helps someone out, and if there's any questions you have, please leave them in the comments and I'll try to help you out. Check out my other videos, and I've got links in my description and discounts for clothing and parts, and also check out Precision LED, and if you want some discounts on those lights, let me know. Alright, thank you for watching and have a nice day.